Hello and welcome to McStabbers. My name is Tis, and tonight I shall be your keeper of arcane lore, as I and my 5 players here dip their toes into Call of Cthulhu. We've got a few players that have played the game before, and some that are entirely new. So let's see if we can scare them off. So tonight I got joined by 5 wonderful players. If you just introduce yourselves before we get going.
Oh, okay. I am Tam, and tonight I will be playing Bernard Jonathan Luckett III, Professor of Folklore and Mythology.
Hello, everyone. Tonight I am Ravenna, and I'm playing Venetia, the artist.
Hello, I am Cheo, and tonight I'll be playing Marion Bailey, the actress.
Hello, I am Raven, and tonight we'll be playing Dorothy Akehurst, writer for the Guernsey Chronicle, the local newspaper.
Hello, my name is Moira, and tonight I will be playing Amelia Martin, who was a tourist of the island that got picked up on the way to the party by our lovely Bernard Luckett.
Yes. So, this is our cast for this evening. As this is a horror game, we may stray into slightly darker territory than Ishval. We may not. Who knows? But if it's not your cup of tea, feel free to step away and come back next week when it's just puns and giants rather than puns and horror. I can't promise this will be pun free. And now, before we get going, sit back and enjoy our trailer. In the English Channel, just off the coast of Guernsey and linked to the larger island by a low stone causeway, sits the small island of Liu. It's less than half a mile from end to end, but this tiny rocky place will be the stage for tonight's story. In the past, the island was larger, but the sea has claimed much of the land, and in time it may take the rest. Legend has it that the island was once a meeting place for witches and fairies, but history more sensibly records it as the home of Benedictine monks, until their priory was abandoned and the buildings were destroyed to prevent occupation by the marauding French. In its place of the priory, a farmhouse was built, and in its turn, that was destroyed. This time by occupying Germans who used the island as a handy bit of target practice during the war. But after the occupation of the islands ended, Liu was purchased by an architect named Arthur Pemberton, who, against all the advice of locals, began to design and construct his dream house on the island, a modernist dream of glass and concrete and boxy shapes. Now, tonight is October 31st, 1968, and his house has been finished for a little over a year. And tonight, the usually reclusive Pemberton is opening up his home and he is hosting a party. And as the sun starts to drop low in the sky that evening, and as the sea has parted to reveal the causeway that links the island to the land, the first of Pemberton's guests arrive. Professor Luckett, an old friend of Pemberton's, Miss Akehurst, a reporter for the Guernsey Chronicle, and Amelia Martin, a young lady who's joined them along the way and has been hooked into attending this party for the evening. And, well, as the car, I don't know which of the 3 of you would be driving. Not that you've had to drive far, the island of Guernsey is small, you've possibly only like 3 cars on it.
Well, we'll assume that being the lowest caste in the group here, and of course being the only gentleman, I will drive.
So yes, as Professor Luckett and the two ladies are driving their way towards the house, just give us a brief description. Who are these people? What would we see if we're looking down on this car with the camera pans around?
Dorothy is about 5'5". She's got blondish brown hair. Her face betrays a curious innocence, so that people sometimes will just start talking out of hand without really realizing it because they don't see her as being not menacing, but maybe more trustworthy in a sense. So yeah.
Amelia is a relatively innocent-looking creature as well. Does have a scar through the left side of her lip, which she has not talked about, even when people have mentioned it. She surprisingly had nice clothes with her, but she's dressed up relatively simply, excited to be roped in. Fair skin, some freckles.
Well, knowing that this is a party, I am, of course, dressed in pretty much the only party outfit I have, which is a tux I had purchased many years ago. It normally stays in a box because I don't go to parties very often. The only reason I'm coming here is because it's Pemberton. And elderly man, let's say mid-60s, but nicely groomed and fairly well appointed. The car, however, is one that he borrowed from a friend, because otherwise we would be coming in quite the jalopy. But this one's actually a fairly decent convertible.
Alright, so this convertible car takes the turns around these country lanes, past hedges and small farmhouses. You wind down towards the coast, and you can see this stone causeway, this block-paved causeway linking Guernsey proper to the small island just off the coast. And it's quite a low causeway. It's probably you'd reckon it's only exposed for a couple of hours every day, and otherwise the island would be cut off. And as the car starts bumping over the cobbles, you can see ahead of you on the island a house, all concrete and glass, with a garage built, joined onto one side. And as you drive up, you can see the garage has been opened up, there's a place to park, and standing expectantly looking on the front step, you see Arthur Pemberton. He is very distinguished looking old gentleman, quite tall, grey hair, sort of, like he's wearing a very smart suit. He's dressed up for the evening. The sparkle of some quite expensive cufflinks. He's clearly a very wealthy man. Although Bernard, you know that he's not the type to entertain often. Like, he is not the sociable sort. And as you approach, he goes, look it, old chap. Splendid. Glad you could make it. If you just park up there, probably best put it in the garage. We might be getting some rain later.
And I will stop the vehicle, step out for a moment, and open the doors. And you wouldn't mind if I let the ladies out first, would you?
Oh, no. Of course. He looks you over and goes, one of you must be Miss Akehurst?
Yes, Mr. Pemberton, that would be me. Thank you for inviting me to this soiree tonight.
No. Always need a good writer, someone with the ear of the people. It's very important, sir. And I love the piece you wrote on the governor's last soiree. It was very nicely written.
Well, it does help to make the people that are better off in society feel more connected to us, the more common person. So,
well, yes, indeed. Now, forgive me. I don't think we've met, miss.
Oh, no, we haven't. My name is Amelia, actually, and I was invited by your dear friend, Professor Luckett. I actually work in accounting, not as special as everyone else who's coming, but I'm happy to make acquaintance.
I see. Right. Well, of course, an extra guest is always welcome. Let me just show you two ladies inside, and then I might just have a word in private with Professor Luckett here.
Much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of hands the two of you up the steps at the front of the house and through a foyer. There's some large, Swiss cheese plants. It's all very, very chic and modern. And he leads you through into a dining room. There's a bar, a few sort of seats scattered about. And he says, "Please, just make yourselves at home here, and I will just go check on the car." And he departs the room, leaving Amelia and Dorothy alone for a moment as he heads on down to the garage.
So, Amelia, you work in accounting, you said?
Yes, boring work, I'm afraid. But
okay.
you are a journalist, correct?
Oh, yes. I just right now mostly just do little pieces for here in the town, and it's quaint, so it helps gather all the gossip in one place, some would say. So,
Of course. Are you expecting to hear gossip here at this party?
oh, possibly. But then again, this is also just always a good opportunity because you never know, you bump into the right person at one of these and suddenly you're off to the bigger cities and writing for more prestigious papers.
Of course. How did you know Pemberton?
I don't know him personally. He's one of the local figures, and
Oh,
so
of course.
he extended an invitation to the paper, and they assigned me to do this.
Oh, very exciting.
So how do you know Professor Luckett?
Oh, actually, we just met a day ago. He told me that he was going off to a party. He got a little tipsy, started spilling his next week's plans, and I decided to ask if I could attend. It seemed like an interesting time.
Hmm. I didn't know Mr. Professor Luckett had a drinking problem. It's interesting information, though. But I mean, so sorry. Where do you do accounting for, though?
Oh, goodness me. Oh, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's professional housekeeping incorporated.
Hmm. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you. I was just curious. You never know. So.
Of course.
Meanwhile, down in the garage, Bernardi just managed to sort of park the car up as Pemberton comes hurrying down like a side door into the garage. "Who is that woman?"
Which one? Miss Eckhurst? She's a writer.
No, not the journalist. I invited the journalist. I think we can do something useful with that. Look, the Martin woman. Like,
Is
this
there an
is a
issue with
private event. You don't just get to invite.
I could have sworn the invitation said +1.
No, it did not. You know full well it did not.
Well, I'm afraid I don't have it on me.
I can hardly ask her to leave now. Look, just don't let her go meddling and stuff, and just keep an eye on her. Look, I don't want her poking in my business, all right?
You are such a worrywart. Just enjoy the evening. Have a party.
This isn't just a party. I've got something important I've been working on for quite a while. And look, I'll explain
I got a little something
later.
important.
Look, if there's plenty of drink, look, come on inside. I've the bar is well stocked, but please try not to go too wild. As I said, we have serious business to discuss tonight.
What is this serious business? I was invited to a party.
It is a party. More think of it as like a celebration of the foundation of something immense. This tonight is going to be the start of something incredible.
This isn't another
World
business venture, is it?
Changing. One could say that there's not so much a business as a calling.
Oh, Pemberton, be honest with me. Have you found religion? Is that what this is all about? Is this some kind of a...
Religion, not religion as such. Religions as they are based on just fantasy and human wishfulness. This is truth. This holds real answers and real powers. You know this, the kind of things we've found in the past. This is like that, but so much more.
Pemberton,
so much more. Yes.
What we found in the past is folklore and mythology. Which I am an expert on, I will admit. Oh, this better be something interesting. And not just an hour of you finding God or something.
No, I need to wait till Marion's come here. She's bringing something I got from America that I think will intrigue you a lot. And I want to wait for her to be here.
Very well. Well, I guess we better get inside before my friend goes snooping in the bathroom medicine cabinet or something.
Indeed. All right, let's come on. This way. We can cut through the house. And he leads you back through into the main room where Dorothy and Amelia have been interrogating others on the accounting practices of the Channel Islands, which are notoriously dubious. But meanwhile, at this point, a second party of individuals is making their way across the island. And did you see a nice, bright red convertible car behind the wheel? Lord Henry Talbot, who is a bit of a fool and a fop, but he has offered a lift to two lovely young ladies he met at the airport, Miss Venetia and Marion Bailey, actress. He's quite happy that he's scored such celebrated individuals to arrive with him. You notice as you go in the car that, like, his suit, although expensive, is definitely, about 5 years old at least, and it's starting to, look a bit worn around the hems. The car itself could do with a lick of paint, or perhaps a look at it. Like it's making a slightly funny noise as you head across the island's bumpy roads. But as he's driving, he's like, So, how did the two of you know dear Pemberton?
Arthur is a dear friend of mine. I just can't wait to see him again. Oh, I've missed him.
Yes. We used to be very good friends. I'm really happy he remembered that and invited me.
Used to be friends. What did you do to him?
I didn't do anything. Pemberton, we had a small falling out. Nothing I really wanted to discuss about money. I lent him some money. He will claim I didn't lend him the money, but it was specifically a loan.
Interesting.
I tell you, alone.
How much further?
I think. Hang on. Oh, the map says it should be a left down here. Let's go this way. And he takes you on an increasingly circuitous tour of the country lanes of Guernsey.
Are you sure you know which way you're going?
Yes, I know which way I'm going. Don't bother your head about it, dear.
I feel like we're going to be late, dear Venetia.
I think so too, Marion. But fashionably late. Fashion.
We will make quite the entrance.
Indeed. I cannot wait to see my godfather again. It's been so long.
Quite a lovely dress you have on today, my dear.
Oh, thank you. It's the latest fashion. I love yours. You're absolutely stunning. Absolutely.
I know.
You both look amazing, ladies. Oh. I think this is a dead end. I think maybe it was that last gate.
If we are late, I'm going to be quite upset.
Late is a state of mind. Here, have a drink.
I don't drink.
Take your mind off it. All right. Well, don't mind if I do. Right, so back this way. Oh, and he backs the car up this lane and continues his very lost tour of the island. Meanwhile, back at the house, Pemberton is pouring drinks for his first 3 guests. There you go. And there's a lovely. How do you feel about Talisker, Bernard? Well, not before dinner.
Fine.
Alright. He pours you some whiskey. And then he goes, I wonder what's keeping the others. And it better not be too late. I did say to arrive on time, otherwise they won't make it. They'll have to swim across.
Are you a bit low on funds, Pemberton? You barely put a drop in this glass. Oh, what do you think I am, an alcoholic? That's more than enough. Thank you.
Yes. I think I hear their car now. Let me just go make sure that they make it across all right. Back in a moment. He heads down, and at this point, the second car is pulling up to the causeway, and you can see by now that the water has started to lap up over the edge of the stones. And within the next half an hour, the water will have covered it. Within an hour, it will be impassable to vehicles. And the sun is setting behind the sea as you cross the bumpy causeway and onto the island. And you pull up in front of this concrete glass confection of a house, and Pemberton standing on the steps. Venetia, darling.
Oh, it's been so long. And she comes
It's been so long here. Give us a hug. And Marion. It's Marion. It's lovely to see you again. It's been too long. And as he's leaning over, did you bring it? I can't hear you. Marion? Speak up, dear.
A slight frog in my throat. Of course, darling, I would never forget that. Oh, give us a hug.
Good. Well, and he starts leading you into the house. And he nods to Marion and goes, Marion, just pop it in my study there on the left. And there's the key. Just lock the door when you're done and bring it back. All right?
We ought to be safe down there.
Yes.
We don't keep it with us.
I think just pop it out of the way for now. I think it's best. But I don't want to sort of spoil the surprise too soon. And Venetia and Marion, at this point, if you wish, you may make a spot hidden roll here at this point. All right. So that is a 79 against a 65 for Venetia, so that's a fail, but a hard success from Marion. So Venetia, you don't really see much of this exchange, but Marion, as Pemberton's talking to you, you notice very clearly that Talbot Henry is paying very close attention to this exchange, and you see his eyes sort of go to the study key and sort of follow Pemberton's gaze, like he's watching you closely.
Oh, darling, I think Mr. Talbot is very interested in our conversation. Perhaps we should carry on.
Yes. Come through. Talbot, I'm not sure you've met Miss Akehurst here. She's a journalist, and
I step forward and offer my hand to Lord Talbot.
Yeah, Miss Akehurst, Lord Henry Talbot. He's Viscount Thursley. Let me write that down. And he goes, Marion, what are you doing in this moment?
Standing next to Arthur, holding my bag, which has...
Okay. All right. So you're all sort of ushered through into the dining room. Pemberton sort of makes the various introductions between the parties. Talbot sort of smiling and nodding. So you see him sort of glancing around, sort of taking in this very expensive looking, very new house with the array of fine collection of spirits behind the bar. Mutters under breath. That's where my money went. And
could you pour us a drink, love, please?
Oh, of course, monsieur. There we go. Brilliant, splendid. The whole party gathered. Plus one. This is Miss Martin. Apparently, she's an accountant.
Pleasure, my dear, a pleasure. I'm Marion Bailey. Perhaps you've seen some of my movies on screen.
Ooh, yes, I believe I have actually. Wonderful to meet you. Quite a gift to be in such esteemed presence as an accountant.
It is. You're quite lucky.
Yes, Miss Martin. Perhaps you should have a nice chat with Lord Talbot here. I think he could definitely do with your insight in life.
Ah. Nice to meet you, Talbot. A pleasure.
Nice to meet you. Now, I'm afraid it's all cold food tonight. I can't persuade the cook to stay here at night. She seems to think the island's cursed. Local superstitions. For giving some present company, but the nonsense some of these islanders come up with. like witches, ghosts, sea monsters. Oh, it's
Sea monsters. Really?
it's the sea. I think every place that lives in the sea comes up with stories of sea monsters, you know. But there's nothing to be afraid of in the sea, as Eleanor said. You know, there's like once we know the depths, then we truly will know ourselves. I think that's how she put it. I'm not as good at wording things quite as poetically as she ever did.
It's all folklore and myth. That's the easy way to put it, Pemberton.
Not everyone is quite such a skeptic as you, Bernard. And indeed, I think what I have to explain and demonstrate tonight will prove that I am right and you are wrong. There's no space for skeptics here now.
Wait, what? All right. So wait, you're telling us? Okay, so we know we know that the locals believe in a lot of spooky things about this island. I know my grandmother always told me stories as a kid, and now you're trying to tell us that you can get rid of the skepticism, but you make it sound like you're not going to disprove, but you're going to prove?
Exactly. You see, what the locals get wrong is the idea that there's something out there that we should fear. Whereas simply there is something out there that we can master. There are things beyond our knowing, beyond previous comprehension. Now,
Wait, are you sponsoring her new movie? I saw The Kraken's Bride, and you're sponsoring her new... By the way, that was one of my favorite of your movies, Miss Bailey. It was incredible. You did wonderful in that. Love the storyline. You're making a new movie. That's what this is all about. You need money for the movie.
Arthur has.
if I needed... Oh,
Arthur has absolute amazing plans. Don't discredit him. Isn't that right, dear?
it is indeed.
Spoken
Now-
like a true lead actress. Bravo.
Look, if I needed money, I would hardly have invited Talbot. Now,
Why did you invite him? He's
every good demonstration requires a subject.
of course.
Mr. Pemberton, are you
And
Satanism?
a chronicler to record it.
I'm sorry, but you sound like you're speaking of some of this satanic stuff that we've seen popping up in the States lately. Is that? Did you drag us out here in the middle for this party so that you could praise the devil or something? Because
Oh my.
No, of course not.
What are y'all playing at? Arian, you keeping secrets from me now?
No, never, Venetia. Oh, never. Your mother was such a nice woman.
God rest her soul. Yes.
Yes, well, rest her soul.
But thanks to Bernard here, I think we may even have 2 subjects. If, of course, Miss Martin here, you're happy to volunteer for a bit of a light-hearted demonstration.
I believe I'll watch Talbot go through it first and decide after.
Right, well, bear with me a moment. I just need to fetch a couple of things from my study, make a couple of preparations. I'll be back in just a moment. He sort of slides the fold doors shut, and you hear his footsteps as he heads back round to his study.
Are we doing something like lights at his as a feather and stiff as a board, or a seance, or something?
Oh, I don't think it'll be anything like that at all. Dorothy, darling, that was such an amazing piece that you wrote. Thank you. I think that interview turned out quite nicely.
Oh, you're welcome, Miss Bailey. It's good to see you again, though. I guess I should count my lucky stars to get the opportunity to interview you, and now I'm here on this island for this potentially ostentatious event. So
Well, your skills are quite amazing. That's why I would love another interview if you do ever feel so inclined.
well, maybe depending on how the night goes, we might have to do a kind of series of interviews to kind of go through what everybody's take on tonight was.
Sounds delightful.
Oh my, I'm kind of nervous now. I've never been interviewed before.
Oh, after all your work. No, don't be nervous. Dorothy here's a genius.
Oh, I don't know. That's too kind. I'm just a local writer for a small paper, so I'm doing the best with what I have.
The slide doors open and Pemberton returns and he's holding in his hands this large cloth-wrapped bundle. He sets it down on the dining table. Peels back the wrappings to reveal a book. This heavy, leather-bound manuscript. Looks very old indeed. He sort of very carefully turns the pages. The book is merely for assistance. These are things one does not want to risk making errors in. Now, Talbot, are you willing to join this little game of fun? Of course, would not. If you're afraid of any of this, then I wouldn't obviously ask it of you. That would be cruel, would it not? Talbot sort of looks around. Is this some sort of practical joke?
Why on earth would you think such a thing?
Venetia? Mary. I thought I was going to a party.
Well, this is quite a party, is it not?
Right, well, sure, let the parlour games commence.
You're quite into
Good.
it.
Good. Now, can anyone here think of something that Talbot here would not do on his own? Something that will prove the power that lies in this book.
Loan you money again.
Yes.
Or forgive
Good
you.
one, Bernard. Good one. Yes. Talbot, I'm going to make you give me your car and your house. Pay heed here, Miss Akehurst. I want a full chronicle of tonight's events.
Of course, Mr. Pemberton.
Now. Talbot, you will give me your car. You will sign over your deeds of your house to me. In front of all these reliable witnesses, you will do this, yes? Look, we've even got an accountant who can help us out. He sort of leans back. And you watch as a look of pain crosses Talbot's face. He sort of flinches back. goes quite pale, and then says, "Yes, of course. The house is yours. The car is yours. Of course. Here, paper." It starts scribbling stuff down. Pemberton nods and then pushes the paper across and goes, "Miss Martin, if you would, whilst you're here, you might be useful. Just give us a witness signature on that. I'm sure a reliable island accountant will be a satisfactory witness."
Bernard's going to lean over to Dorothy and say, "He must have some amazing photos or something."
Or this is all just a scam.
I will be quite frank, Pemberton. I don't know if I can sign this in good faith. Obviously, this is not Talbot's true decision.
And he leans forwards towards you and says, "Miss Martin, you will sign that document. And Amelia, I would like a power roll from you, please."
Okay. I always forget, is it the purple one or the green one?
It doesn't matter.
All right.
Was we? Okay. You find this compulsion overwhelms you. You find that your hand almost starting to move without your control. And you watch as your hand sort of starts to sign the document in front of you. This unsettling feeling of someone forcing your hand, forcing your will, and I will need a sanity roll from you here at this point as well, actually. You are of strong mind and strong will, and with an extreme success, you're keeping it together through this. But it's an unsettling experience, and it only lasts an instant. When you look down, the document is signed. And you see Pemberton, as he reaches to slide it back, you see his hand sort of trembling slightly. He looks a little, shaken by his end of whatever just occurred just here. It's definitely taken something out of him to do what he just did. He slides it back and goes, "Thank you, Miss Martin."
You're welcome.
Now, that is just the tip, the glimpse of what powers this book has lent me. This book, he holds it up, and I found it on the island when I started the foundations from this house, and I knew this is what called me to the island. This book, and its answers within it. The lands it talks of, the cities deep beneath the waves. Everything's in here. Power beyond human imagining, if we only call out to it. Marion, if you would.
Of course. And she'll pull up her bag and open and pull out the statue. Sitting next to me.
And she pulls out, is this statuette about this tall, carved of this oily black looking stone that almost looks damp and slick, and its form, the angles on it seem wrong as you look at it, like this twisted shape. It resembles this squat figure crouching, this hideous monstrous form. And just looking at it, there's very much a wrongness to it, and the unsettlingness of the angles and the way the light plays off it. Maybe it's just a trick of the light, but everyone but Marion I require a sanity roll from, including poor Talbot.
Isn't it just beautiful?
Beautiful. Alright, so yeah, Amelia and my name's right, Venetia, it's just, you just see it sort of a trick of the light sparkling off this thing. Perhaps Amelia, you're still, a little taken back by what just happened to focus on this statuette, but Bernard and Dorothy, you find yourself sort of instinctively flinching back away from this thing, and both of you will lose 3 points of sanity. Which, not too bad, not too much. Just keep track of how it goes. He looks at it and goes, beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
It's fascinating.
A work of art.
I wouldn't go that far, but definitely fascinating.
The man I bought it from, he said, the poor artist who carved it went completely insane, poor man. But maybe that just led more splendour to his art, to his work. But
Pemberton, what has moved you to collect these strange artifacts?
well, even before I found the book, before I found the island, this kind of thing fascinated me. I mean, Bernard and I in our youth, we dabbled in all manner of things, and investigated all sorts of occult matters, and then I met Eleanor, and artists it always seems to me that they have a connection to other things, and some of the stuff she painted, some of the stuff she talked about in her dreams, it led me to delve further in my investigations, and it was her actually that first brought me to this island. She said it felt like a special place. I asked her to stay here with me, but she would not. That was years ago. But
And where is Eleanor now?
She passed away. Eleanor's my mother. Last year.
My condolences.
She used to always say that her artwork would lend to see beyond what was there into the real.
yeah. So,
Yes.
are you convinced yet, Bernard?
No, I am not. And steeling himself, I'm going to move a little closer and take a look at this statue. Does it remind me from any of my knowledge from learning? Is there anything about this that seems familiar? Or that I can
You
glean
can
from
make
it?
me, for starters, let's see if you can succeed on Cthulhu Mythos roll here. think you have some points in it.
Not that many, but I do.
And if not, we'll follow it up with an occult.
Yeah, I'm doing great on
But
that
they'll tell
too.
you very different things.
Anthropology and archaeology I could go with, but I don't think I'm going to do well anywhere else.
Well,
Nope.
it's not an old thing.
Okay.
I thought you were a professor of the occult.
All right, I think we'll have to try
Anthropology
occult.
would work as well.
That did not go well.
Anthropology
I'm
would
gonna try
work.
occult, so.
Alright, so looking at it, it does have some kind of resemblance to some statues you've seen, various old things scattered around, especially sort of some things dug out, various island sort of communities that are supposedly referenced or referred to some sea god, some otherwise referred to as like the dreaming god, but the occult references are scattered and vague. They hint at perhaps some greater knowledge, which, if only you knew where to look and which tomes to delve into.
Let me look at that book, Pemberton.
Well, you will of course be very welcome to peruse this book, if you agree to join me on tonight's venture.
So far, you have made a rich man give you things, which he's already given you money before, so I'm still suspect on that. You have an actress presenting something that looks like it was dug up out of the dirt. I still think you're trying to do a movie bid here. What is it you want us to join you on?
I wish to... this house, I didn't build it for myself. I wish this to be the center point, the start, this house and this island of an organization dedicated to learning and fully understanding and utilizing the powers that lie within this book, and I'm sure many others like it around the world, if only we know where to look. And a temple of learning and of knowledge and of experience dedicated to mankind's mastery over secrets and to the true powers that lie unknown beyond, like, the waking world. And I'm asking you, Bernard, Venetia, to join me in this. And and the rest of you, of course. We will, of course, need someone to write a great book extolling the wonders of this mission, and to help ensure we have a favourable guide in the press, Miss Akehurst. And Miss Martin, if you choose to join us on this, I am sure we will need money, and perhaps you can entreat the bankers of this island to sway a little finance this way. Could be a profitable venture for them.
What are you hoping to gain from this venture? Simply knowledge?
Knowledge for how does it say? Scienta potentis est. Knowledge, my dear, is power.
What are you hoping to use that power for?
Well, see the world the way it is right now. Look at it. We've barely been done with one war, and now we teeter on the brink of another. Great nations set to annihilate each other. With the power we have here, the power we could gain, We could right so many wrongs in this world. Set so many things to right. Is that not good? Is that not
What wrongs are you hoping to right, dear Pemberton? For the instance of war, for example, since you so aptly bring it up, what are your thoughts on those involved? I mean, would you be using this to sway one side or another?
Look, I care not with matters of Soviets and the Downing Street squabbling away at each other. Like, I would just as happily look if the enemies of humankind lie on both sides of the Atlantic, in Washington and in Moscow alike. We would have to take them both out to ensure a proper and continued success of any plan. But this is long-term goals here. I'm talking like we have to start small. We cannot merely tonight. We merely found and set the foundations for what is to come. Perhaps in a couple of years we can properly use these powers. So
who's deciding what is right and wrong? Who's going to be, I mean, you're not going to, are you proposing a council, or who's going to be in charge of this venture, Pemberton?
Me?
And who better?
Exactly, my dear. Look, when I brought you here, I really did not think this would take quite as much finagling.
Well, you know, usually you have to have the power before it corrupts you, but apparently you already feel you do.
Oh, I have the power.
Should we just let him get on with his demonstration? Mr. Luckett, you are so lucky to have been asked to participate. Why don't you just agree? And you can read this beautiful manual.
My dear Miss Bailey, when I begin to take the opinion of an actress in my political leanings, I will have given up all levels of sanity. Thank you very much. So there's more to this demonstration, Pemberton?
Why, yes, but the next part will require participation. Someone earlier joked about seances, but this is not far off.
I do enjoy a good seance.
Thank you, dear. You know, you remind me so much of your mother.
I've actually come to talk to you in private about her at some point.
And I would love to, of course. She was very dear to me.
Okay, darling, we have so many other things to worry about tonight.
I will help in participation.
Perhaps tomorrow would be a good day.
You make a good point. Marion.
It's a disease.
Who brought a dog to this dinner party?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No dogs in the cult. No dogs in the cult.
It's just so hungry. It's my...
Of course, food, of course. I'm so sorry. Here, I'll go get the sandwiches.
Yeah, thank you.
Marion, if you just come. Actually, Venetia, you wish to talk. Come and lend me a hand in the kitchen. We'll get the sandwiches and we'll continue this in a moment when we're not all starving.
Of
Could I help
course.
you? The two of you. I'll come.
It's fine, Marion, dear, darling. Just make sure the rest have a top up. There's a dear.
I do need to talk to Arthur alone a little, family business.
Alright, come with me, Venetia. We'll and he heads off towards the kitchen.
And of course, she takes his arm gently and continues into the kitchen to where she could be assured that nobody's eavesdropping.
Anyone who would like to eavesdrop may make me a listen roll.
What roll?
Yeah.
A listen roll. Essentially, Call of Cthulhu has eavesdropping as a skill.
Awesome.
It never takes such a skill. Oh, my computer's being stupid. Come on. Roll my thing.
Alright. So, Dorothy, you can hear what's going on in the kitchen. And the rest of you are none the wiser.
Arthur, I know you were very
Yes.
close to my mother for a very long time. I have come into some knowledge that she has passed to me through letters. And I was wondering how close you two actually were.
Well, she was a very dear friend. We traveled together a lot. Of course, she wasn't married at the time. It's
Keeper, is there a truth-telling skill?
psychology is like the read someone else skill.
Because I want to see if he's telling me the truth or not.
He seems you can see there's definitely guilt there in his sort of demeanor. He's a hard man to get a good read on, but he's definitely very guilty and awkward about something here.
You don't need to be coy with me, Arthur. We're family, after all.
As good as, yes. I've always treated you as if you were my own family.
She is going to pull out the letter at this point and hand it to him. Are you sure?
Well, no, that can't be true. She would. Why would she tell you this if she hadn't told me?
Probably to save you some face,
What?
I assume, but now she is past.
He even sort of look at you more closely. Sort of. I don't really see it. You just look like her.
She
Which
did
is
say.
probably for the best, but I just don't understand why she wouldn't tell. I would have married her. I would have taken her away, and we could have started a new life together. But
I don't know either. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to find out everything. It's so confusing now.
I did not need this tonight. I've got. Look, I've got. I thought Bernard would be with me. I thought he would be easy, and he's being bloody difficult. I thought this was maybe I'm losing it. I thought this was an obvious win. I thought this was.
Oh, Eleanor didn't like him very much, if I remember correctly.
He's not always an easy man to like, but it's been a friend
You
of
can
mine.
see he's a little abrasive and not open to certain ideas.
Yes, look, we can... Are you with me at least?
I'll help you to get some answers, definitely.
Good, good, good. With...
My mother always trusted you.
I'm glad to hear that. Look, just maybe just don't mention this to Marion. Not just yet. It's going to be quite a difficult thing to break to her. She can get a bit tetchy where the subject of Eleanor is concerned. All right.
I understand. We can talk about it more tomorrow, but I needed to know if you knew.
I didn't. I just assumed that she would have told me if it was the case, but
Starving company.
yes, we better get we've got to get back, and we've got a lot of persuading yet to do. And you start getting the food to take back in, and at that moment, what's going on back in the room? There's this strange statuette still sort of sat on the dining table between you. Talbot looking very unnerved and shaken. But...
I will have taken him a glass of whiskey after perusing the wall, finding the most expensive thing I could find.
We need to get out of here. This man's mad.
Well, you're the one who signed over everything to him.
I didn't mean to. I don't know what happened.
Is it some form of hypnosis? Sorry, Amelia.
I was just going to say, I'll speak to that. What just happened was wrong. I felt
What
the
do you
same
mean?
way.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, I did not want to sign that paper. Obviously, it seemed that Talbot was against it. He went pale. I in good faith, as a proper accountant, I would never agree to some kind of deal where it seems like someone is under the influence in even a way that I don't necessarily understand. But then he told me to sign it, and I saw my hand moving without moving it myself. I believe you've invited me to a party where I'm not sure if I want to be company.
Well, I apologize. It's not exactly what I was expecting. Did Pemberton take the book?
No, the book still sat on the table.
I'm going to just wander around until I eventually make my way next to the table where the book is. And then set my glass down next to it and continue looking around. So did you feel like someone was, like maybe an overwhelming compulsion?
Correct.
Sounds like some form of hypnosis. And then I'm just going to turn and just kind of idly flip the book open.
Okay. So, idly flipping this book open, you can see the title is De Libre Evonis. And it is, as you start to look at it, in Latin.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks fairly... First of all, it's definitely like a sort of church manuscript style you've got. But whoever's done some of the illumination on this, rather than going for sort of angels and clouds, there's a definite theme of some rather strange and unnatural looking twisted forms and shapes doodled in the marginalia here. And how sort of closely are you perusing this? Are you trying to read some of the contents?
Oh, the first couple of pages I'll just kind of thumb through and see what it is, unless I see a word or something that makes me go delve in with interest.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for a quick Latin roll from you here, as you're flicking through. See I think it's at the end of
yeah,
the
I had
language.
to find it on the.
Yeah. Alright, so as you're flipping through, you don't see any words that sort of hugely catch your eye. You see a few passages here and there. It seems to be a slightly rambling text talking about sort of rites and rituals and various strange sort of gods and entities, and you see some words that are definitely not Latin mixed in with the Latin. There's some, it almost looks like nonsense words, like there's not enough vowels in it. Someone's got overboard with the F's and the L's, and
What kind of book is... I mean, my Latin isn't as great as it should be, but this is obviously not written correctly.
Oh, Mr. Luckett, if you just, I'll put my hand over the book and try to slowly pull it back if I can. That's for later.
And I will put my hand on the other part of the book and try to pull it back the other direction.
Mr. Luckett, if you please.
Miss Bailey, if you please.
We can look at this later when Arthur has returned.
Is there a reason not to look at it now? He left it here. He obviously doesn't mind. And if you are trying to convince me, I want to see the evidence.
We'll look at the evidence when he returns. If you could please, and I'll put my other hand on it, let go.
So is this sort of is this an actual tug of war now?
I think so.
Because if so, I'm going to ask for a strength roll from both participants, please.
Oh no.
I'm an old man. Don't worry about it.
Where is my strength on this thing?
At the top of your sheet.
Top right, left-hand side of characteristics.
Sweet. Okay, so I'll get this off my screen so I can do that.
All right. So it's sort of a stalemate from him, but as Marion is the strongest overall, like you manage to wrench the book out of Bernard's hands, and as you do so, Bernard, or anyone actually, because we've all got the same look at the moment, just make me a look roll here in this moment.
Oh, second, sorry.
Yeah.
As I was going to offer, could I help Tam a little bit? Help Bernard?
Oh yes, you can.
I just want to kind of I just want to walk behind Marion and quietly whisper, Eleanor's child is here. To break her concentration. Just not in your ear, just very quietly kind of put it into the room behind her. So
What?
So you let go of the book, like Bernard managed to wrench it out of your hands, and as you turn to Dorothy, as this is all happening, I will ask for someone to make me a luck roll still.
I'll make a luck roll.
look.
Didn't want to interrupt the flow there, but there's
Did you say luck?
luck. Luck.
Okay, yeah, I was.
So I've run across this before. I don't know if it's just the way I pronounce look.
No. I was looking for look, and then I was like, I think I heard.
Yeah, no, you are not the first by a long way. All right. Okay. Good to know. Yes, Bernard, you have the book. Back in there.
I'm just gonna be like jotting in my notebook, so it looks like I'm just kind of wandering the room, so she doesn't maybe necessarily suspect me of anything.
Dorothy.
Yes.
A word, please.
Of course.
And I'll grab her arm and walk to the corner of the room. What was that? Whose daughter is here?
Sorry, what are you talking about?
I know that was you that whispered in my ear. I heard your voice.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I said anything. I've just been mumbling to myself probably, but I'm just taking notes for the party. Mr. Pemberton wants me to chronicle this great event that he has planned, so I'm just trying to make sure that I am taking as good a notes as possible. So
You said that Eleanor's daughter was here? Eleanor's child was here? She wouldn't know daughter, she just heard child?
I don't think I said that. I don't know. I mean, I've just been kind of organizing my notes together, my thoughts into my notes. So, I mean, I'm gonna flip over my notebook and kind of look through it real fast. I've not written anything down about Eleanor's child being here, but I'm gonna kind of I'll turn it. I'll show Marion the book. I mean,
I know someone said something. Perhaps, since you are such an incredible journalist, perhaps you could keep an ear out for me.
oh, of course, Miss Bailey, of course.
It's Marion, please.
Oh, okay, Marion. I will, of course, I will definitely keep an ear out for you.
Yes, if you hear anything, I would be very grateful. Perhaps I could help you out in some way.
Oh, that wouldn't be necessary. You know, it's always good to get the information out to the people. So,
Of course. Thank you.
oh, of course. If you don't mind, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna take another minute and kind of keep finalizing my notes here. But you know, I don't want you to I don't want to ruin the party for you by taking up your time right now. So.
Oh, it's no trouble at all.
Meanwhile, whilst the two of you were having that conversation, Amelia, Talbot sort of draws you in closer. He says, I'm getting out of here. Come on,
Understood.
come with me.
Oh, no, I'm afraid I must stay. This is all...
This is madness, this whole thing is madness. They're crazy, the lot of them.
You're correct. You are incredibly correct, Talbot, but I need to figure out why the madness is happening. It is rather important to me. I will not simply be
I am not staying.
by forces and then just leave. I have to figure out what's going on. It's just in my nature.
Okay, well, it's not in mine. I'm out of here. And
Talbot
yes.
here. So you are good friends with Pemberton before this?
He used to be a alright chap. Like a bit weird, but you know, generally pretty stand up, and yeah, just lent him some cash. Oh, yeah, I think he was up in Oxford. He was. Yeah, I think he was teaching. My brother had rooms in his college. Like, I ran into him and the woman he used to hang around with.
Eleanor, yeah.
And yes, in the end, he persuaded me to lend him some money for a project, set up a business. He seemed to, a stand-up, respectable gentleman. So I didn't have anything else better to do with the money, so I lent him the money, and that was the last I saw of the money.
Understood. Well,
now it seems like the rest of my money is it. But anyway, I am getting out of here.
I assure you I will make sure that that document that I signed is not legal or fine print. I'll do what I can to be on your side.
All right.
One last question though. Do you know? I was rather bothered by his statements about the war and preventing sides, and I believe with the power that he is, he could cause great calamity if he so chooses. Do you know what side he's truly on?
Who knows? I mean, I definitely know. I mean, I think it's the Cambridge folks that you've got to watch out for, right? But definitely some of the academics up at Oxford, they got sympathies. They got sympathies. But I don't think he's one of them. But
Be safe, so.
Okay. And he sort of.
Would you like me to cover for you?
Yes, please.
Say you got sick, you drank too much.
Just cover for me when they come back with the sandwiches.
Will do.
I'm gonna tap Marion on the shoulder. I'm like, Marion, you told me to keep my ears open. I'm writing. I think I heard Lord Talbot mention Eleanor. I don't know. You might want to. He sounded like his voice makes him sound like he's in a rush. So you might want to go ask him real fast, before he takes off for the night. So.
Thank you so much, darling. Thank you.
Of course.
Greatly appreciated. And I will rush to Mr. Talbot.
He's just sort of heading out through the door.
Mr. Talbot, hold on.
Just getting something from the car.
Oh no, that won't. What could you possibly need? I'll get something for you. His arm.
No. And
walk back with him to a corner.
And he is trying to hold his ground. Are you attempting to drag him?
Marion, he's simply trying to be a gentleman. He's just feeling sick. He was going to his car to potentially empty his bowels. In
Just hold it.
I'm sure as an actress you do not want to hear about that or even think about it, so you should just let him go.
I need to speak with him immediately in private.
Let me go. Unhand me.
Marion, I assure you I know the information that you're after myself.
He is going to attempt to try and bodily extract. Are you letting him go or not? In which case,
I'm
maybe a fighting brawl roll here, please, Marion.
Can I come over and put my hand on his shoulder and ask him if he'd like to comment on the news that he apparently has trouble controlling his bowels and his money?
Yes.
And I would like to throw in a distraction, if I may, by going, this is a really interesting book, Marion, because anything she's trying to do, I want to stop.
What am I at?
Fighting brawl. It's under F on the skills.
What am I doing? Okay, so.
And you got a penalty die from Walter.
Which one am I?
But unfortunately, so does Talbot. That'll be. I think it's the either. I think it's the purple one.
Strength purple.
It is the purple one.
Fighting brawl purple.
Fighting brawl purple.
Roll under F. And we'll get back to the people in the kitchen in just a moment. I've not forgotten.
Fighting.
You're gonna come back for a shit show.
Fighting brawl. Okay, purple. Boop.
Literally.
I don't need your kind of. I don't know what kind of two-penny rag you write for.
Sir, I will have you know that the Guernsey Chronicle is a well-established paper in this area, and we do not write anything but the most important of news.
In this area, maybe.
If a lord is having trouble with his money, that is important to the people, because the people want to know.
And as this argument is going on, Talbot managed to wrench himself free, and as he does so, and you watch as something falls down from his pocket, and you watch as the statuette that had been on the table falls out of his pocket and hits the ground. And you hear the of breaking stone.
Oh my.
We're
Mr.
done.
Talbot.
We're done.
And this is the point that Pemberton and Venetia sort of enter back into the room with the sandwiches as this thing. Actually, no. Scratch that. I'm using my veto of the evening. I'm going to leave you separated for one more moment. As this thing hits the floor and you watch as a strange darkness starts to sort of pool around it on this ground. Almost like a shadow lapping around the ground at Talbot's feet. This twisting shadow moving and turning. And everyone apart from Venetia, who is currently just take the sausage rolls, and we've got prawn cocktail. Everyone else, as this shadow twists and forms, I need a sanity roll from you. And this might be where things are allowed to.
Is it purple, green? Does it not matter?
It's just green.
Just green.
Okay. So, Dorothy, Bernard, and Amelia, you each lose
Why?
1 point of sanity.
Did I lose
Marion,
it? No.
you lose 4. Which I think you're still within the bounds of ordinary sanity so far, but you find yourself sort of involuntarily backing away as this shadow laps around the ground at Talbot's feet, where he sort of stood in the hall in front of you.
Where do I mark that I lost 4?
You see the box where it says your sanity? You delete 4 from it.
It says 40, 50, 86, 50.
The middle box.
The middle box.
Delete 4.
Yes.
Okay.
And as this shadow laps around Talbot's feet and then sort of lap up around his legs, and Talbot goes very still. His body sort of locks up, and all of you have a brief moment to do something. Whether it's run, hide, scream, run, hide, and scream.
I would run back and scream.
Is there something specifically happening to Talbot beyond the smoke at the moment?
It's just this dark, eerie sort of lapping around his feet, and he's gone completely still for an instant.
I'll go ahead and step back, and I will put my hand on my gun.
Alright. Bernard, what are you doing?
I'm going to I think I was far enough away. I wasn't in the middle of the fray that I may just barely see what's going on, so I don't think there's anything I would do.
Okay, Dorothy.
I'm going to run back into the room where Bernard is.
Okay, so you run back into the main dining room away from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, Marion, up close, you're pretty much the closest to what's going on here with Talbot. What are you doing?
Definitely gonna run back and scream.
Okay, so in the kitchen, Venetia, as you're just being handed this tray of prawn cocktail and sausage roll, you hear a scream from the main room.
That's Marion.
Yeah. Marion? Marion?
She's going to run in with the tray.
As Pemberton sort of behind you as you run in with the tray, and you reach sort of this area behind the bar, you can see the others like have run back into the room and Talbot sort of stands frozen in the hallway in the lobby, and you watch as the darkness sort of pulls upwards into his eyes. This is like a trickle of like dark black. Is it blood or some kind of almost oily substance that trickles down the side of his face? He goes sort of very still, then all in a moment crumples down, folding in on himself down onto the ground and collapsing down into almost nothingness. And as that happens, I need another sanity roll from everyone.
Oh no. Is it green?
Green. It doesn't matter if you hit the purple one by mistake, it'll just roll bonus die that I will ignore. Alright. Now we're talking.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So as Talbot collapses and crumples down onto the ground, I think we're going to go on a quick break here. I just have some calculations to run, and shit is about to hit the fan.
Oh no!
And
Oh,
it came
no.
from Talbot.
And it came from Talbot.
We'll be back in 10.
Alright, so before the break, 6 guests attended a party on an island. Were asked to join an organisation that is most definitely not a cult. By a man named Arthur Pemberton. Then Arthur went into the kitchen to get some sandwiches with, his now discovered daughter, Venetia. And meanwhile, things in the living room went slightly wrong. And now, as Talbot's body crumples down into this oily, foul-smelling mess on the floor, and as everyone else is sort of backed up and away, I need all of you, apart from Venetia, to roll me a d6. I'm going to add a little bit of randomness into this mess. Oh, that is very lucky, Bernard. Very lucky indeed.
I have a feeling I'm about to lose my mind up in here.
Oh, not quite yet. You feel yourself like backing away, trembling, instinctively revulsed by the horror you've just seen. Like that is, that is deeply disturbing and unpleasant to look at. Can I have a d6 from Marion, please?
That is what I'm looking for. Does it? I'm not that familiar with.
Just use the Roll20 roller. You can /r space d6 in the chat.
I can put common dice rolls onto your sheet, actually, if that makes it easier for future. The wonders of a technological interface.
Not take.
It should be on your sheet now, if you need them. Ooh, oh. There's a 5 there.
I don't know if that's
now. It's well. I need an intelligence roll from you here, Marion, to see if you comprehend the full horror of what you've just witnessed here, because 5 is the threshold for insanity here. Like, there's 2 ways basically a character can go insane. One is if they lose a 5th or more of their sanity in a day. I'm keeping an eye on that, and Bernard, you're teetering very close to the edge. And another is if you lose more than 5 points of sanity in one hit. But this depends on intelligence. Like, yeah, can you comprehend what you've seen here? Are you able to sort of rationalize this away somehow? Find some internal justification or something that explains this?
Where is my intelligence?
Up the top.
The characteristics box.
Okay, green or purple?
Green. But if in doubt, you can always roleplay. Oh dear. You understand completely and utterly that what you have just seen. You understand that statuette which you have carried with you for a while had contained something inside it. Something awful that is now free and that has now just devoured Talbot. But its hunger will not be sated, and Marion, you are, for the time being, temporarily insane. And as we sort of work out what will happen next, I'd give some direction to this. Roll me I'm going to ask you to roll lots of dice now. This seems to me a D10, please. As Bernard, you're able to just about keep it together. You are teetering on the edge, and Dorothy, I mean, you're not that far off. Same with not Ellen, Amelia. You've got a little more space, a little more leeway. I'll take Dorothy's D10. I actually needed a D10 from Marion, but it doesn't matter. It's just any D10. As Marion, this overwhelming urge and red sort of wave descends over your eyes. This anger, this rage that swells up inside you. This urge to destroy. Well, you can direct this as you wish, but it is basically an irrational, uncontrolled violence and destruction. It fills you for the time being. I'll let you know when it has faded, but until then, you are angry. But in this moment, as this anger fills you, as the rest of you shy back, as this oily mass seeps down onto the floor, what are you doing? I will, rather than going in dex order, basically, whoever wishes to do something first, whatever it may be, let me know.
So I just pick who I'm mad at.
Oh yeah. But it doesn't. It can be rational. It doesn't have to be rational. It could.
We're about to be eeny-meeny to death.
Sorry, Venetia. It was the eeny meenies.
So you can see Venetia across the room. Are you still holding the tray of? What are you doing, Marion?
Do I attack her?
You can. Well, in about this sort of essentially sort of almost a turn, you can sort of charge across the room and sort of dive across the bar to get at her, or.
Okay. Well,
Or run around the bar if you're less.
I just scream and dive across the bar at her.
All right. Give me a fighting roll, Marion. Let's see how this is going to go as you dive across the bar. What are the what's everyone else doing in this moment? Yeah, you dive, you get across the bar, but you're not able to quite sort of grab onto Venetia. In that go, you see Pemberton standing behind Venetia going, What?
Arthur, what is this about? And Venetia is going to drop the tray unceremoniously, probably on top of Marion. That's probably going to happen.
Playing.
Well, more sideways, like the food spills off.
Yes, just sausage rolls and like dishes of prawn cocktail spill everywhere across the ground as you drop the tray.
And yeah, I'm backing up, trying to get out of the fray, if you would.
Alright, you sort of backing up, Pemberton behind you. The rest of you, what are you doing in this moment?
I've actually pulled out my gun at this point, and I'll have it trained on Talbot's figure.
Okay.
I'd like to use the camera that I borrowed from the office to take a picture of the black smoke thing. Or try to take a picture anyway, so.
Alright, yeah, you're able to take a picture. I'll say photography for quality of picture here, because you don't have time to sort of... You've got to snap perhaps not the best of pictures. And last but not least, Bernard.
I am going to down the last of my whiskey from my glass. Set it gently on the edge of the bar take the book and move as far away from everything else into the farthest back corner that I can and begin furiously going through the pages.
Okay. So yeah, you can get right sort of back up into the one of the corners of the room. Are you looking for something in particular? So just speed read this book.
Basically looking for anything that talks about black ichor, oozy, smoky statues of doom.
All right. Give me another Latin roll. Let's see if we can speed read some Latin. All right. So as you're flicking through, you don't find sort of a how-to's guide of black ichor removal. You do, however, come across a rather similar page headed up by a similar sort of image to that of the statuette, and you can read the first. You have a chance to read the first lines of Latin. It is an entreaty and call to the dreamer beneath the waves, and it names that dreamer as Cthulhu. But yeah, you don't have time for an in-depth reading really at the moment. There's a lot going on, but you get the idea that whatever this is some portion or some scrap of something greater. This is like a weapon, maybe, like a trap, but there's greater powers in this book. You get the indication that this book was designed to deal with much bigger and more dangerous things than that. You just had time to read it properly. And at this moment, this Icarus ooze, this smoky, oily substance that was Talbot, flows forwards into the room, shifting and moving around the floor, and starts to flow. Dorothy and Amelia, I'd like you to both make me a luck roll. What are you? Don't forget you can always, not on luck rolls, but on other things, spend luck. Amelia, one from you, please. Yeah, it begins to flow towards Dorothy with her camera. You probably get a good the picture is possibly like bad because this thing is moving towards you as you take the picture, as it flows up forwards towards you, and you watch as this smoky, oily, shadowy tendril sort of reaches its way out, coiling out towards you. And as it does so, as this creeping darkness comes out towards you, I need a power roll from you.
When appropriate, I'd like to shoot it. I'll be on standby for shoot.
Get to that in just a moment. Alright. You're able to, you've still got your faculties around you. You are, you've still got your senses with you. Still able. Amelia, as you had your gun ready, we're playing fast and loose with rounds here. I'll let you take a shot if here it is. This mass oozes towards Dorothy. This seems to slide almost. There's a loud bang as the gunshot goes off, and the bullet sort of. Actually, you would have a bonus die. This is pretty close range, so you can roll me again. This might actually have hit. The bullet seems to go straight through this mass into the floor below and does not seem to slow it down for a moment. But meanwhile, we'll get back to the creeping horror in a moment. Meanwhile, Marion.
I'm still screaming like I'll get back up and just lunge towards Venetia.
Alright, so I'll have a fighting roll from you, please, Marion. And Venetia, you have the option here to try and fight back or to try and dodge out of her way.
I'm going to try and dodge out of her way because Marion is my friend and I don't know what's come over her.
Alright, roll me a dodge then, Venetia. The blow lands. So I think the damage... You've not got any kind of weapon in your hands, have you?
Mm-mm.
So I believe that will just be 1d3.
Okay, do I roll that or does she?
You roll that. As you, like, blows fly. Pemberton going, I can't see! What's going on? And Venetia, you will take 3 points of damage as Marion hits you. And what would you like to do?
Well,
You can't
now
really...
that she struck me, that's gonna be one of those things where it's, oh no, we don't play that game. You don't get to hit me. And yeah, she's gonna ready to strike back as soon as possible. Probably she's gonna try.
It is your turn now. Yeah. So, what are you hitting with your fist, or you do still have the tray in your hands?
I'm gonna hit her with the tray. It's gonna.
That will be a fighting roll. I just look at the appropriate
stat block for the tray.
If there was ever a game that would have one, look, I have stats here for thrown rocks and live wires and what to do if you get hit by a bullwhip. So
I just want you to deliver the rest of the game with the notebook in your mouth.
Sorry, I don't have a table. But yeah, that'd be a fighting brawl from Venetia, please. And are you trying to, Marion, at this point, trying to dodge out her way or strike her back?
I think if I'm in a blind rage, I would, if I fell or stumbled back, I would go for her again.
Oh, I'll have a fighting brawl from you in your defense then here.
I can't tell when it's gonna roll and when it's gonna make me do the little pointer thing. There it goes.
A little pointer thing. Yeah, so unfortunately you're not able to avoid this tray heading towards you. Venetia, that will be... I'm trying to think how solid... I'll say 1d4. I think a tray is not quite as solid as a club.
Yeah.
Oh, barely scratched her. But as this... Ladies, look, just... Calm. I can't see what's going on in there. And...
You need to calm her down, Arthur.
Marion! But meanwhile, as this is going on, Amelia, you fired your first shot through this thing. Now as it's up at... Now you're looking at it as it's flowing up towards Dorothy. I need a power roll from you, please, at this moment. Amelia. Let's see. You find yourself mesmerized. There's something about the way this thing moves. Something... It's almost beautiful, actually, in a way. The ebb and flow of a tide, like the movement of like the sheen of oil and water. It's quite lovely, really. Just to watch as it flows and sort of laps and circles around Dorothy's feet. This shimmery, oily-looking shadow moves and flows, and yeah, it's just lovely. Dorothy, you don't think this is lovely? What would you like to do?
Shoot. I know it's futile, but I want to do this. Character would do this. I want to try and stamp my feet down to kind of like dissipate the smoke, kind of like, and I also want to yell, Pemberton, what is this foul fog? Like, what is going on?
I'll have a fighting roll from you, please, then. Okay. And Pemberton, I can't see. Did you break something? This thing just seems to. Yeah, you can't get a purchase on it. It's not really substantial at all. It seems like it's more sort of on the surface. Like if it's just like a faint shadow rather than like a solid mass now. It's very wrong. Bernard, in your reading book club at the corner.
Knowing that Pemberton had laid the book on the table flat and read from it, I'm going to close the book and look at the edge and see if I can see where the binding is bent out so I can find the page that he was reading.
Ah, very, very good. I'll have a spot hidden there. Or a luck. Actually, I'll go through your choice. You can do this with luck or spot hidden.
I'd probably do better with luck than spot hidden. So, well, no, actually, I'm going to try spot hidden because it sounds good.
Yep. You managed to find just the page he was on. You can see a page, the incantations in Latin of, like, intended to control someone, at cost of your own, like, energy and your own sanity, to control another being, and to force them and bend them to your will.
Okay. Is that it for me for now, or?
That's it for like major things.
The next thing I intend to do is focus on this black whatever ooze and read the incantation aloud.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. Meanwhile, moving away from the eldritch horror once more, we return to the kitchen. Marion, you have been hit in the head with a tea tray. You're still angry. I just thought I'd better check that. What would you like to do?
I will, Eleanor, you bitch, and run back at her and attempt to attack her.
Attempt to defend with the tray. No, I'm gonna attack back. I'm gonna attack.
All right, fighting roll.
We're going full Jerry Springer.
All right, fighting roll from Venetia, please. Oh, I realised I forgot something. But neither of you managed to land a solid hit on each other.
I'm not Eleanor.
Eleanor's yelling at you. Like,
how dare you, you bitch! Arthur is mine.
What?
Meanwhile, what I forgot was poor Dorothy, as you're stamping around, and this shadow starts to flow upwards. Up your legs. What are you trying to do? You can try and get out of its way, out of its path. You can try and sort of almost tear it off, fight it off if you want, but
Considering the stamping didn't work, I want to try and start like like sideways shuffling away. I don't know where I'm exactly in the room, but I figure if I'm near a wall, I want to go the opposite direction, kind of sort of way to maybe past the bar or whatever. But I don't know. I would like to keep. I would like to try and get some distance between myself and this thing. So.
There's a map, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll say in this case it will be a dodge to get out of it now it's this close up to you.
Okay.
Now that you're trying to dodge and avoid as it is trying to consume you.
Oh.
And you feel this cold chill sort of flow into you. This aching sort of pain that sort of runs down your bones, and I'd like you to deduct 11 points from your constitution, your con at the top of your sheet.
Okay.
As you feel this aching chill, this horror run through you, and pain that follows it. Okay, you got 9. And the shadowy mass around your feet is gone. But you can feel it's this really unpleasant feeling. I need also a sanity roll from you in this moment. And I'd like you to roll me another d6, please. This is a deeply disturbing and unpleasant experience. And please deduct 4 points from your sanity. And hang on, where are we, Dorothy? Where does that take you in regards to your daily threshold? I believe we're at 40 and 40 here, aren't we?
I have 42 sanity. It says from taking the 4 off.
Okay.
Unless I missed some somewhere.
No. You're still holding it together despite this. You can feel it like running through your veins. This presence, this thing. Stop whispering at the back of your mind. Like, shh, give in. It'll be so much easier. Just relax. Give in. Relax. Amelia, you see this happen. What are you doing?
Pretty oil. Have I
Pretty
snapped
oil.
out
She's
of
got
my...
that was only like the pretty oil's gone now, but you saw it went inside Dorothy. The mesmerism sort of faded, and the full horror of the situation rushes back onto you like a wave.
Excellent. Oh, I'd like to restrain Dorothy somehow.
Oh yeah. You can.
Wow, how can I do that? Let's see.
That would be it depends with whether Dorothy would resist.
I think Dorothy is kind of like doing one of these right now, kind of like what is it? Yeah. So she's probably not paying a lot of attention.
Right.
Okay. So in which case, yeah, you can grab her. Like if she's not fighting back, you're able to grab hold of her and hold her.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of just restrain her for now, and eventually I'd work her over to a chair and find a way to secure her to it through, I don't know, napkins on the table or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say probably that way. You can grab her and get her into the chair, because there's a chair right there at the end of the dining table.
Excellent, yeah.
Like, you've got a hold of her, Bernard. So.
Yes.
What are we doing here? What's you've got this page open, this incantation before you, with instructions, sort of.
And I've seen this thing disappear into Dorothy.
Yes.
At this point, right? I still want to read the incantation aloud, but who I want to control may be slightly different.
Alright, bear with me just one moment there. So yeah, who are you focusing this on?
Amelia.
And what do you want her to do?
I want her to shoot Dorothy in the head.
Okay, alright.
You wanted to shoot who?
Dorothy in the head. The thing's inside Dorothy. I'm terrified of it.
Oh god.
Okay, so
Sorry, Dorothy.
I was trying to avoid that.
It was a good
Amelia, I'd like you to make me a power roll, please. As would I like you to make Bernard to make me a power roll. I would also like Bernard to roll me 3d3.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so Bernard, you read this incantation and you feel, as you read it, you feel this sudden sort of tingling weakness pass through you as like sort of the power and energy sort of drained from your body, and then sort of this backwash into your mind. Just reading these words and feeling them course through you, and what you're doing here, the mental force to twist the will of another. You will lose 7 points of sanity.
Okay.
Which I
That was in
believe
character laughter.
takes you over the threshold. You are now indefinitely insane.
Okay.
We'll get to that in just a moment. Because as you feel yourself losing, Amelia, you feel your hands with your gun. As you're going to tie Dorothy to the chair, your hands sort of rising up in front of you. Your hands moving the gun to Dorothy, and you feel your fingers squeezing the trigger. Dorothy, you're still sort of in the grip of this thing, this cold force that's inside of you, but you see as the gun comes up, you have, if you would like to try and dive for cover, you may roll me a dodge, but you will have a penalty die at this because Amelia was restraining you. If you'd like to try and dive for cover, you may.
So my options are potentially take a bullet in the face or try to dodge and fail. So we're gonna try and dodge.
Yes, alright. But you've been put in a very unoptimized position here. But yes, I will.
I rolled the wrong one, doesn't matter.
It's alright. So I'll have a firearms roll with a bonus die for Amelia. The bullet, Amelia, you're sort of fighting against this, your hand sort of shaking, and you pull the trigger. There's this loud bang of the gun, and the bullet, it hits Dorothy, but that's only 2 points of damage. Dorothy, you're not dead yet. Amelia, I need another sanity roll from you, please, actually, at this moment. Alright. Roll me 1d4, please. You've had this happen to you before, so you're getting 1 point of sanity. Is like it rushes back to you. Your control of your body sort of rushes back to you again. You can see, well, it's up to you which part of Dorothy you hit with. It's like a shot in the shoulder or the leg, or like a glancing blow off the temple. But there's blood.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I lost your sanity, you said?
You lose that 1 point of sanity.
Okay.
But I think you're still
hanging in there.
You're still hanging in there as the gunshot rings out. It sort of snaps the two of you back in the kitchen. Sort of, your attention is suddenly drawn to the fact that whilst you've been busy scrabbling away each other, that things have gone very wrong back in the rest of the room. And this moment, I do want a D10 roll from Bernard. But yeah, you hear this gunshot run off. Marion, you're still... This destructive rage is starting to fade, and like sanity is starting to return to you. But there's still definite anger there, but the overwhelming compulsion is fading. You hear the gunshot go off.
What's going on?
You lost your senses.
So did you, as you attacked me.
You scratched me. There's a scratch distinctively on her face now. I think that's bleeding. Hey, 3 points of damage. This sucks.
We need to see what that was.
Yes. Come on, Arthur.
Don't talk to him like that. Arthur, come along.
What? My God. Things are still happening in the other room. And as Arthur pushes back and goes, "What's going on? Miss Martin? Wait, why do you have a gun?"
Oh, I thought it was rope. Common mistake, really. I was trying to restrain Dorothy, and I'm worried about her sanity at the moment. In fact, I'm also worried about Professor Luckett's sanity. I'm worried about all of our sanity, actually.
Well, good. Well, I for one, where's Talbot?
Was this the demonstration you were hoping for?
What? Oh my! And you see him sort of go a little pale. I just need to make a quick roll for him actually here. Oh. All right. Put down the gun. Don't make me make you.
Why on earth would I put down the gun?
You just...
Force in this house that has been released by a statue that you and your lovely flirtation have brought in here. I have a gun. I'm going to use it to protect the people. And if that's a problem to you, then you're on the enemy's side.
I see no enemy here. Dorothy, you can still feel this cold chill washing through you, and be another 8 points of con drained from you. You can feel it sort of leaching the very energy from your body. It's cold chill, and anyone looking, you see this slight trickle of oily blackness just creeping from the corner of one of her eyes.
Sorry, where did I get shot?
Oh, in the shoulder as well.
In the shoulder,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
So,
also, yeah, you've been shot in the shoulder. You are not having a very good night.
Yeah, that's right. I'm probably gonna be like holding my arm on my shoulder, my hand on my shoulder, kind of, just like, why is it so cold? It's like, it's so cold, and I don't know. I'm not gonna notice what's going on. I'm not gonna feel it. So.
Look, this has got to out. Bernard, just give me my book back. I can get this sorted. Just hand the book over.
Bernard is going to take the book and look furtively. You're all insane! And flip through the book for the most evil-looking page he can find. Something that looks powerful and scary.
What?
There was that page you saw earlier with the very interesting decoration up the top with it's almost like the statue. That one looks pretty damn scary.
You all just stay back from me, stay back from me! And if there's anything like an incantation, I would like to read it.
Okay, what else do you would like to do?
Just crazily read it.
No! You see Pemberton, like... Bernard... Just please, put the book down.
You're
Miss
not
Martin,
going to get me! You're not going to get me, Pemberton!
Miss Martin, shoot him! Shoot him, Miss Martin! Miss Martin! Oh, God! Shoot him! He'll kill us all!
That's your lucky.
Please.
What on earth are you hoping to do? Does he say anything?
I'm going to keep all of you away from me.
Ah, okay.
You're not going to get me. No.
I'll shoot him in the foot.
At
All right,
point, Amelia's
non-threatening.
doing that. Venetia's
Yeah, roll me
gonna
a
grab the
firearms.
tea tray.
with a
Bullets
with
to his
a bonus. All right, fighting brawl from Venetia. Firearms with a bonus die from Amelia.
So I've shot twice now? And then this will be the third?
Yes, keep track. You've got 6 in there.
Yes.
You
yeah.
shot 3 times. You shot twice into the floor, once into me. So.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
No, it was only once into the floor. One was a bonus die. It was the same shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the tea tray misses.
Oh, my damage is awful.
The revolver hits. 1 point of damage to Bernard.
I didn't scratch someone for 3 earlier. My bullets are doing 1. I just gotta start doing this.
They're all trying to kill me. She's shooting me. And I will again try to find my place to start reading.
Okay, as this is going on, another 8 points of con loss, Dorothy. Just the life is draining from you as this goes on. Like, you can feel this bubbling in your veins. It's draining away at you. And Bernard, you've not got very good circumstances for reading here. Someone's shot you in the foot. Someone's trying to hit you in the head with a tea tray. Pemberton's sort of trying to push past and has tried to seize hold of the book. But it's not a very long incantation. I'm going to ask for a power roll here. See if you manage to keep your keep a track of this whilst. Oh, you're very set on reading this, and
Oh God.
I'd like you to deduct 5 from your overall power for now, as you're muttering away, and as you start to mutter, you can hear outside the waves seem very loud. The water seems so much louder than it was before. But as you start to read this, it's going to take you a little time to finish reading this.
Okay.
But depends if someone can stop you beforehand. And well, what are people trying to do?
Arthur, what is going on?
The man's got mad. He's gone insane. You know the page I told you we should never even look at, but he's reading it. He's oh God. We're not ready for this. We're not ready for this. Not here. Not now. It's gonna kill us all. It's calling it.
Oh, I
It's
still have so many
academic.
movies to make. I'm too young. I'm too beautiful to die. Oh,
We need to stop him.
and I'll run.
Out the way, Miss Dorothy.
I'll run to Bernard. Stop! You can't read that. Stop!
She makes
she-
her in. Yeah.
If she runs towards me, I will back away as far as I can and begin to read as fast as I can. I will speed
I
up.
mean, like backing away through the door behind you, sort of. It's a bedroom behind. It's just like
Absolutely.
speed reading, and Venetia and Amelia. What the hell are you doing?
I'm going to try and run up to Bernard kind of from the side to basically what I want to do is try and knock Bernard's glasses off of his face. Because I'm assuming he needs them.
Alright, yeah, give me a fighting roll here. Oh. He's backing away too far. He's surprisingly nimble for an old man. He's sort of like, you can spend luck, remember. Don't forget your luck, guys.
I'm trying to remember how much luck I would have to spend to push that up.
That would have to be... Ooh. 12.
I will spend 12
Fair
luck.
chance. Glasses knocked from your face. The page in front of you blurs.
What's worse, reading the incantation correctly or getting some words wrong? I will not stop.
Oh no.
Amelia.
This level, did I have some kind of services at the ready in the event that I were to take Pemberton in? Like, do I have anyone on call?
You would not. If you can get to a phone, there's a number you could call. There is a phone in the house, but you don't have any kind of like mobile communication.
Yeah. I just meant someone on calls and someone at the ready nearby.
Yes.
Okay.
There'd be someone on the mainland, yes.
Right, okay. I'd like to go to that phone then.
Alright, as you head to the phone, Dorothy, what are you doing about all this?
I'm assuming since Pemberton kind of pushed me out of the way, I'm probably on my down on the floor a little bit, like on my knees, and I want to ask the voice in my head. I'm gonna mumble it like, what do you want?
Shh, just give in. I won't hurt you.
What does giving in get me?
I'll just stay here for a while. It doesn't need to hurt. And then later, you come with me. Come down to the depths. There's people there.
Why
There's
don't
places, the city. Come down.
Why don't we stay here? We could stay up here for a little while longer. If I don't fight you, you just, I don't know, just you can stay inside my skin. It's fine. I don't care. I don't want to go down right now.
Sure, it's okay. We don't need to go anywhere now. It's alright. I'll stay here. It's okay. I don't need to hurt you anymore. Alright.
Thank you.
It's all good. It's fine. You feel the coldness is still there, but it sort of ebbs back a little. You can still, and you're suddenly much more aware of the pain of a gunshot wound in your shoulder. And so Amelia's gone for the phone. Venetia's been grappling with Bernard. Marion, what were you doing last? You were too young to die, too beautiful.
Just running after him.
Running after him. Yeah, you can see that Venetia's knocked the glasses off his face. He's still reading this damn book.
Stop it! You don't know what that's going to do. Stop it. No. No.
Yay. There's a lot of EAs in this. Yay, Cthulhu flicks. But now you can try and like grab the book. You can try and like take him down, or you can just try and what he's reading doesn't even make sense. Like those aren't even words. Like as you try and read this blurred page of like slightly faded, not Latin but Latin script in front of you. I'm going to ask for an intelligence roll from Bernard on how many mistakes we're making here. Minimal. You might achieve your goal. Not sure if that's good. Good or bad.
I would just run after him.
All right, you're back through in sort of the back bedroom now. Like, Bernard, this is a dead end.
How far do I have left on the incantation?
You don't know. You've got about like this much of the page left. You think that's the end of the incantation?
Okay.
Like only a few more lines. Just keep going.
Who's the closest one to me?
The thunder sort of rumbles outside. The closest to you is probably Venetia, who slapped the glasses off your face.
Okay. While still attempting to keep reading, I'm going to take my pipe and try to shove it into her eye. I know she's got glasses on, so I'm hoping it displaces them. You're not going to get me!
Shut your yowling screamer, old man!
I'll have a fighting roll, please.
Alright.
And either a dodge or a fighting roll from Venetia.
I don't want my eyes hurt, so dodge is gonna happen.
Unfortunately, yeah, you might just like I'm gonna say the glasses take the brunt of this, but you will take 1 point of damage as the jab of this pipe in your eye. He doesn't manage to skew your eye, but it's like definitely like hits the side of your eye socket, and like it's not pleasant. Amelia, you get to the phone.
Hello.
My spin dial phones. So you got a round spent going. And I need to just grab my headphones here as charge is running out. So Venetia and Amelia are running after Bernard, and Dorothy has managed to come to an arrangement as Amelia makes the call. Pemberton looks entirely alarmed. This whole thing has gone so far off the rails of anything he planned, he or I. And he calls to Amelia, just give me your gun. Just take him down.
I absolutely do not trust my gun with anyone other than myself, thank you. Just take the book from him. It's your fault. You figure it out.
And Pemberton sort of rushes up behind the two women, but there's unfortunately not enough space really for him to get through and get to Bernard. Amelia, the phone connects. Quick. Accounting services.
Yeah.
How may we help?
This is Agent Whitfield.
Yes?
Please put me through. It's an emergency.
Right away, Mom. Whitfield, what's going on?
There's been some kind of terrible. The ancient.
Sorry, it's a terrible line. Speak clearly. There's some interference.
There is a manuscript that is possessing people.
There's a man, you say, that's proposing people?
Send help! OS!
All right. Received. And the line sort of crackles, and you can sort of hear something as then, Bernard, you reach the end of the page. And in doing so, I'd like you to roll me 1d6 status. You lose another 6 points of sanity.
It doesn't matter at this point.
I don't think it does, but in that moment, like, there's a flicker, and then all the lights in the house go out, and you're plunged into darkness. You can just hear the roar of the waves outside, and this deep groaning rumble, this creaking sound of stone grinding onto stone. And as Bernard stops his muttering, stops his rambling, the whole house shudders.
Arthur?
What's going on?
I told you I wouldn't let you get me.
What have you done? Oh, what have you done?
Is there a fireplace anywhere?
No, actually. I forgot to put one in the house.
Why?
Sorry. I considered it.
It's too cold in here. All right. Are there any candles or gaslight? I know there's a lot of gaslighting going on, but
There's candles. There's candles.
Okay.
There's backup for it as a power cut. There's candles on the table. In the dining room, though. You were in the bedroom.
I would like
Can't
to
see any candles
I would like
inside.
to hold the book tight and make every effort to bust my way into the nearest candle. I want to
Marion and
flame.
Venetia, are you letting him do this?
No!
No. Stop. I will.
Trying to grab him and pin him and pull him down.
Oh yeah. So between the pair of you, I'm going to say both of you make me a fighting brawl. Bernard, you make one with a penalty die. Because there's two of them, you are outnumbered here.
Do I throw the penalty die on there? Just the
Purple.
Or, okay.
Yeah. And kind of the fail state here all around is you don't manage to grab hold of him.
No, Mommy, you
It
can't stop
slips
me.
past you somehow into the main room where Amelia's over by the bar where she's rung the phone, and Dorothy, you see as Bernard comes running into the room towards like the dining table and its candles.
Stop him!
I want to ask the thing inside me if it would like to maybe take Bernard down to the down underneath the waves.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stumble towards Bernard then as best I can.
And as you stumble towards you, Bernard, you feel coldness seeping out. And those of you, I mean, I think only Amelia is in the room to see this as this oily blackness sort of seeps down out of Dorothy. And the beautiful, beautiful oily blackness seeps up as Bernard, you're reaching for a candle? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
All right, what are you trying to do with this candle?
I want to burn the book.
Okay, so as you sort of try to hold this, I guess, book and candle together, you feel this cold chill around your ankles. It's cold, sort of wash up inside you.
You'll never get me in the book too, Pemberton.
As the
It'll be
corner of the
mine.
book starts to smoulder, and as this corner of this book starts to smoulder, the whole house shakes again. And the edge of the book are starting to catch. The old dry papers are crackling with fire, but Bernard, you're going to lose 13 points of your constitution that round, essentially in that moment, as it starts to drain. You feel this weird weakness wash over you as you start to burn the book. Maybe it's connected. I don't know.
You're not the only one with power here, old man, as I kind of just, like, slump up against his back.
But I don't know how much. So, yeah, Bernard, you feel this weakness, the book's beginning to smoulder, but what?
If Dorothy kind of falls into me, I will try to catch her, but I want the book to start burning, so you know it'll just be kind of like one of those scenes. The guy's here holding the book to burn and has her in one arm, looking down at her, and don't worry, I won't let them get either of us.
The flames are starting to catch on the very paper, smoke billowing upwards. The rest of you have had time to get back into this room if you wish.
Stop it, everyone, you're not making any sense! And I'm gonna try and get the book away from Bernard to stop the fire.
Alright, I presume, Bernard, are you trying to stop her?
I am kind of split focus. I'm worried about it burning, but if she gets the book away from me, my attention's going to now, I guess with the black thing, whatever it's doing, I'm going to notice the wound on Dorothy's shoulder, and I'm going to go, "You're hurt." And I'm going to take off my ascot and put it over on the wound.
Okay, stop bandaging Dorothy. Venetia, you have a burning book.
I'm gonna try and smother it, and I'm at the same time I'm trying to get away from where he is.
All right. What's a good roll for correct book smothering procedure? I'm gonna make this Dex.
Okay.
Out of lack of other appropriate book smothering skills. But yes, you are able to, between various other things, pat out the flames on this book without setting fire to yourself or significant portions of the room. The house is in darkness now. The only light previously had been from this burning book and the candles, the faint flicker of the candles on the table, the rest of them. The house shudders again. And Bernard, you lose another 12 points of your constitution. You can feel weakness in you now. And Dorothy, you can see the oily glimmer, sort of almost like tear tracks down his cheeks. And you know what you've done here. But, what is everyone doing as the house shakes and as the book fire is smothered?
Job, Venetia. Just Just give me the book so we can read this and we can fix this. Arthur!
There's no fixing this.
There's got to be.
I don't know how. Like, maybe if we get out of here.
How are we supposed to get out of here? The causeway is flooded.
Oh, can you swim?
I think so.
Maybe we die here. Like, he called it here something. The book calls it a god. I was going to call it when the time was right, in the right place at the right time, with a plan.
We need to run then.
It's I think, yes, I don't know. You can see he looks quite wild-eyed, like he may have lost quite a portion of his faculties during this night's evening, and he does not seem like entirely like he doesn't seem to really know what he's doing here and why, and like where's Talbot?
Gone.
He's dead.
Oh, right, yes, you said that.
I'm going to, since I'm not having to like hold the wound anymore on my shoulder, I'm gonna kind of put my hand on side of Bernard's face a little bit and just be like, you're like me now, Bernard. And then I'm going to kind of whisper to him, ask it to send the others to down below.
Shh. It's okay. You can come quietly, Bernard. Come down below. But
We're going.
our Lord is coming now. He's coming. He wakes. He stirs. You called him here. He will stalk your dreams now. You are his. You are his.
And Dorothy too.
Oh, yes, Dorothy too.
My friend Pemberton, we need to bring him and the others.
They will come. If they remain here on the island, they will come. This whole place, it will be his. The island sort of gives another sudden shudder.
We have to keep them on the island. We need to destroy the cars.
Yes. And I'd like to say, for the sake of everyone else, that you could hear Bernard muttering to himself there.
Everyone has to go. All of
Arthur,
us.
is there a
No one
boat?
can leave. Sorry, Ravinia, I couldn't hear you.
It's okay. Is there a boat, Arthur?
Only a small rowboat. It's old, it's battered. It
Anything's better than nothing. Let's go.
We wouldn't fit all of us, but... Alright. Let's go.
I'm not worried about all of us anymore. And yeah, she is going to try and hightail it out.
Okay.
Don't leave me here, you guys. He's gone mad, and I just please kind of call out to them as they start.
Come with us. You don't need to die here with him.
Like I'm trying to grab a purchase for somebody to grab me because I'm injured still. So.
All right. Come, Miss Akehurst.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pemberton.
The island sort of shudders and shakes. So yeah, so Bernard is staying.
Nisha is not waiting. She is not waiting on anybody anymore. She is.
Right. You're liking
Right.
it.
My two new closest friends have told me that everybody needs to stay here on the island. So my intent is to do anything necessary to stop anyone who tries to leave.
Okay. Well, Venetia seems to be the first that's attempting to leave. What are you gonna do to try and stop her?
Is the candle still near me and lit?
There's still one lit candle, yes.
Yes, I'm gonna try and use it to catch her clothes on fire.
Alright, so as Venetia, as you go to leave, Bernard's coming after you with a candle.
Oh no, crazy man, you're not getting near me.
What would you like to do? As Bernardo, that would be a fighting roll for candles. This has turned out to be a hell of a lot more fighting roll than I ever expected. Like, it did not turn out to this turned out to be an occult punch-up. This was not my plan.
Well, and if I still have my flask and possible, I will use it to try and help further engage the flames.
Oh
gosh.
Flamethrower?
In which case,
Oh,
I can
I
ask
love
for
it.
ask for a dodge from Venetia here to try and
Yeah.
And you need to fight from me, you said?
I'm gonna say with the alcohol, no.
Okay.
Venetia, you are now you're on fire.
Yeah.
I'm
running for the door. It's wet outside.
So as you run outside, you'll take 1 point for now of damage from the burns. But as you run out into the night, your clothes sort of smouldering, and as this is the 60s, I think they're still in. How into highly flammable synthetics were they then?
It would still be cotton, but cotton burns pretty well, and it smolders in the wet very well.
Oh well. I was more thinking, you got your viscose that.
Yeah.
I think we have to wait till the
Yeah,
80s for a proper
that'd be 70s, 80s times.
Yeah, proper shiny configuration. Yeah, the burning Venetia flees outside. Dorothy, Pemberton's helping you sort of down the steps. It's strange as you head out into the night. You can see that the water seems a lot closer than it did before. The island is sinking. Marion and Amelia, what are you doing?
I would be running with Pemberton.
That's what I
Okay.
catch up.
So, as the four of you sort of flee out into the night down towards the boat, you hear a sound in the air above you. You hear a and a bright light down towards you, like sort of light from the heavens. And looking up, sort of battered by the increasing rain and storm, you see a helicopter.
What luck.
Oh, we're saved.
And
No, you can't stop this.
of
We're
ropes
going
descend,
down.
and you hear the voice of Agent. You called.
Most definitely I did, yes.
I will answer.
Look, hook on. And one by one, the iron still shudder and shakes beneath you as you're hauled up on this chopper. As the island, as Bernard, you feel the island shake around. You can feel as bit by bit it slips lower. And from the marginal safety of the chopper, the four of you and Pemberton see as Lihu slips down beneath the waves sort of soaring up the rocks and the grass, the old priory. Pemberton's house. And inside Bernard, that last moment almost like comes with a great crashing drop as water flows in through the large like glass windows, the plate glass. And as you sink down, down, down to the welcoming embrace of the ocean. You feel this relief wash through you, strength returning to you, and you feel a sort of, yes, we are home. We are home. As the four of you watch the waves of lap over where the island used to be, the rest of the people in the helicopter looking around with like alarm and concern and a desperate need to get the hell out of here as fast as possible. And the of the chopper begins to head out into the night. I have a couple of questions. Firstly, Venetia, what did you do with the half-burnt book?
I kept it. I'm clutching it very desperately.
Alright. So you got the Liber Ivonis of half-burnt, singed clutched to your chest. And Dorothy.
Hmm?
You know in part that you sent that man to his death. You helped to kill a man tonight. And some part of you, there's something in the back of your mind comforting you that is okay. This will all be okay. And you know that in the years to come, your dreams are going to... There's a presence there. There's always that calling down to the depths, down to the sea. And there's something that lurks down there. Across from you, Pemberton has clutched Marion's hands, going, that is not what I planned. This is not the plan at all.
In case that we don't make it, Arthur, I just wanted to tell you that I love you.
I love you too, Marion. And yes, he sort of holds you a little tighter as Amelia. This is going to be a lot of writing up to do.
Correct.
How are you going to explain this to your superiors?
Well, personally, I do believe Pemberton should be taken into custody now that I believe there's enough evidence that he's potentially a Soviet asset, including Marion. And probably Venetia. I think they all need to be interviewed. Dorothy, I'd request to be under quarantine. Severe quarantine, for lack of a better word. Be watched over, receive medical assistance. And I will explain that, so as not to sound insane and lose my job, that there was a fight of some kind over allegiances. It was a political squabble. And once the earthquake started, it was an earthquake, nothing more, nothing less. Bernard ended up getting trapped in the house, unfortunately. Declare him dead. but keep his file open.
Alright, so as Bernard sinks down to the inky depths, and the rest of you are whisked away to a secure yet discreet military intelligence compound to face some quite tricky questions. I think that is where we shall bring tonight's foray into Call of Cthulhu to an end.
Absolutely.
I will say now that went pretty much entirely off the rails after the first hour. And thank you for being your own worst enemies. I almost I didn't put Tam up to that. That was
amazing.
You said I was crazy and paranoid.
Yes,
I just
indeed.
acted natural.
Yes, indeed.
I'm sorry.
The moral of this story: just don't mess with books in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
They are dangerous. Oh. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and those of you new to Call of Cthulhu, I hope the system made sense. It sometimes veers more like investigatory, like mystery puzzle, and then sometimes it veers more punch up in the kitchen while someone is possessed by it. It's very hard to predict which way a game will go.
I'll tell you one thing, Venetia is going to have some great late night reading.
Yes, I feel.
Continuing your father's footsteps.
I'm not dead.
Yes, well, you're both under suspicion to be Soviet assets, so enjoy your reading in prison.
I have a lot of money. I'll get us out of this. We have nothing to do with the Soviets. I can prove it.
Yeah,
So
well.
fortuitous. So fun.
I had a lot of
play
fun
that.
running.
Raven, I'm very sorry I had someone try to shoot you in the head, but it just seemed the thing to do.
I'm very sorry for what happened to Dorothy. Like, she had the unfortunate luck of being the one who.
As soon as Tam was like, I want Emily to shoot Dorothy in the head, I was like, all right, we're gonna see if this thing will talk to me, and if it does, I'm totally attacking Tam with it.
Yeah.
So,
Hulk it out, like absorb the bullet, and
yeah.
oh,
I love
Nah.
it. I love it.
excellent game. Thank you so much, Jess, for
No.
running a game on
Yes, thank
Halloween.
you.
This is a good way to
Yeah.
spend the holiday.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Halloween. I think you've got many hours of it left. I'm gonna go watch Star Trek.
Nice.
But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and for like my players, both my normal players, and great to have some new faces in the game. And I hope to play with you again at some point. Like,
Her normal players and her abnormal players, yes.
yeah,
I
and
caught that.
hey, look, I think you're the weird ones. But yeah, so if you enjoyed that, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern is none other than, drumroll please, the premiere, I believe, of Windy City by Night, which is the new Vampire the Masquerade. Yes?
Yep.
Yeah. So, that should be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And then on Tuesday, it's Haunted Chronicles, the Black Death returns, with a different Eleanor.
With
Yes.
a different Eleanor who's just as untrustworthy.
Yep, just as crazy.
Eleanor didn't even feature in this. She's dead.
I know. Exactly.
Just you wait.
Yes. And then on Friday, I believe we have Ravenia here continuing her werewolf game,
Yep.
which is the second half of the one shot, which should be
Shots.
2 shots. Should be exciting. You just need to, sink them all under the sea and get them arrested by the MI5. That keeps a one shot as a one shot.
Apparently, I need to take notes on that.
Call the shot. But no, that promises to be an exciting game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, the first part was great. I'm sure the second part will be even better.
And then finally, next week at the slightly later time of 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 8 p.m. So those on this side of the pond, Ishval's back, which is Norse-inspired Dungeons and Dragons, and with Tam, Moira, and Chael here, and they're on a boat. So I'm sure that will be fine.
Oh, yeah.
A boat off the seas and giants.
I'd ship it.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, but in the meantime, well, before tomorrow with Tomorrow's Vampire, if you'd like to find out about this or any of the other shows on the channel, if you hop on over to the Discord, I'm hoping someone will miraculously post a link, otherwise I have to post it. Hop on over to Discord, which is where we hang out, and also where we put calls up for one shots like this. So if you fancy joining an insane game like this, then that's the place to be. And we've also got a YouTube. We're trying to break the 100 on Haunted Chronicles and on Ishval, because those URLs, they're too much like something Bernard would say.
Yeah, I read a portion of it out of the book this evening.
Yes. But other than that, thank you very much for joining us. Have a lovely Halloween, and we'll see you next week. And or before then for some people here.
Get ready.
Bye.
All right.